Hey there, my friend. I wanted to share with you a story, something that happened to us today, and it's all about hard conversations. And when I say us, I mean it was a conversation that I had with a freelancer who actually works with the No Pants Project. And one of the things that is interesting about being a business owner and running businesses and having to talk with clients and talk with freelancers is you really learn how important candor is, meaning your ability to have a tough conversation can sometimes make or break the success of whatever it is that you're doing. So, keeping things to yourself, not speaking up when you ought to, for a lot of us, we're taught that that is a good value to have. It's virtuous if you keep your mouth shut and you do what you're told and you never talk back. And in the world of business, that's actually a hurdle. That's an obstacle. So let me give you an example. There's a freelancer that works with No Pants. She's amazing. She's done really good work for us, and she has right now an opportunity to do something more with someone else. It pays more. It's a bigger profile opportunity, and it's going to be a bigger, better use of her time and strategy. And that's just the reality, right? So I'm talking to you right now as a client of freelancers. Sometimes freelancers just get better opportunities. Now, there's two ways that this particular freelancer could have handled this situation. One, she could have just never said anything. She could have kept it to herself. She could have made up excuses, not been honest, and could have said, I need to go do this other thing. And as the client, I would have, just because I didn't know what was going on and just because I didn't know what her plans were, I would have just said, okay, well, I guess that door's closed and I'll go hire someone else. I'll go find someone else. Well, instead, what happened is she was able to have the hard conversation. She was able to say, look, things are going great here at No Pants, but there's this other thing and I'm kind of torn. And she made herself vulnerable in the conversation of, I don't know what I want to do. And because of that, I, as the client, was able to say, okay, well, great. Well, let's talk about alternative options. What other things can we do? I think sometimes we make the mistake of assuming that the person that we're talking to on the other end is going to come down hard, or that the other person on the other end only wants us to fit in this very micro spot. And the reality is if you're a client hiring freelancers, you're by definition, by law, actually, have to look at the freelancer with flexibility. So by law, if you hire freelancers, you have to allow for flexibility. And so one of the things that we were able to do is have a conversation about, look, if you need to take time off to go do this other thing because what it was incredible, it was paying more, she wasn't sure if it was going to be permanent or not. I said, look, we love you, we love to have you. Stay in communication with me, go do this other thing, and if you want to come back, cool, let's do it. The only way that we were able to come to that conclusion was through both of us saying things that in a normal conversation would have, like when I say normal conversation, what most people think how a conversation should be, all like, reserved and don't share your true feelings and don't be vulnerable and all that kind of stuff. If we would have approached this conversation that way, the outcome would have been entirely different. But because we were able to have candor, be upfront and be straightforward and say it like it is and say what we wanted, we both came to a really good conclusion. So that's thought for the day. Have that difficult conversation with whoever it is you're thinking of right now. I'm sure you're thinking, there's someone I need to have a conversation just like that with. Go have that conversation. I promise it'll turn out better than you think.